Hello everyone, this is Blacklight Tango Down for the PC. Now this game is also available on the Xbox 360 and on the PlayStation 3. And this is all the versions are downloadable versions. There's no retail version. Now this is strictly an online. Even though there is a single player, which is what I'm showing right now. And it's just basic missions, just get from point A to point B. You have to, just a couple of different things. You have to either get to certain points to get to a computer and upload viruses, or essentially just trying to get to the end of the level. Not much to it, honestly. But this is a budget title. I got this on Steam, and they had a special on it for $7.50. And when I first heard about this game, it seemed interesting to me. I just didn't want to pay full price for it, and I figured, you know what, it's so cheap on the PC, I might as well get it on there, and I can try out some video capturing on the PC, which is what I'm doing right now. Now the quality and the smoothness might not be great. It does seem to, I don't know, I'm still playing around with it. It's not perfect, but anyway, back to the game. What's interesting about this game is that on the PC, it's a Games for Windows Live, and if you never tried it before, if you never used Games for Windows Live, it's essentially Microsoft's attempt to merge the Xbox Live experience to the PC. And when I first started installing this game, I was having a lot of problems just trying to get the Games for Windows Live software to even work. I finally got to work. I had to restart the computer and everything like that. I finally got to work, and for the most part, it works fine. And what's interesting is that you can also use the Xbox 360 controller, which is what I'm actually doing in this gameplay footage. Now, of course, you can't use a keyboard and mouse, but for this, I'm going to use the 360 controller. I have a 360 controller, a wireless 360 controller for the PC, and I also have the 360 wireless receiver. And what's funny about it is that it controls pretty much exactly like you would on the 360. I just think it's kind of strange how on the PC you can just use a 360 controller and get a similar experience. But anyway, for the most part, at least on the single player, it's just standard affair. Now the multiplayer, which in a few minutes I'll show you a team deathmatch. The multiplayer is a little more interesting, honestly. You got your deathmatch, team deathmatch, domination, things like that. It's basically similar types of things like you would see in a Call of Duty game, for example. And this game is kind of geared towards the Call of Duty players. I mean, it plays similar to Call of Duty, which is not necessarily a bad thing. If you're gonna, I don't want to say rip off, if you're going to mimic a first-person shooter style, why not Call of Duty? So I'll just stop talking and let you keep watching the single player, and I'll get into a little more detail with the multiplayer.
The data is secure.
Alright, back to the menu, and I'm going to be showing you Team Deathmatch. Now while you guys are waiting for a game to show up, graphically this game is not a bad looking game. It's an average looking game. It's not a great looking game, but it's by no means an ugly looking game either. You know, it's an average looking game. And what's great about this game is that for the specs for the PC version, it doesn't really require much, you know, for how this game looks. On relative average spec hardware, you can pretty much get by with this particular game, which is actually a really nice thing because, you know, in the world where people are, you know, spend several thousands of dollars, you know, trying to get a gaming rig on, you know, for us average people that doesn't really want to spend much on upgrading the computer, a game like this will come along and it's like, we'll make the game look nice, but it doesn't really require much to run it, which is really nice. And sound wise, sounds really good. When you take a lot of damage, the sound starts to mute a bit, and you know, it just gives you a nice audio effect. That way you don't have to worry, you don't have to concentrate too much of looking at your HUD. Which, by the way, speaking of the HUD, it has that Metroid Prime feel to it. When you move the camera around, the HUD kind of moves a little. If you ever played Metroid Prime on the GameCube or even Metroid Prime 3 Corruption on the Wii, it has that similar look to it, which is actually kind of a nice effect. I've always liked that style. It just makes it really immersive when you're playing this game. Now, even though I'm playing Team Deathmatch, there's not really much to it. It's pretty much standard affair. You got two teams, and you're just going around, just standard rules. Whoever gets the team with the most points wins. And that's really pretty much it. There's not much else to talk about this game. Is this game worth getting? Obviously the community is not going to be as large as a Call of Duty game, or even what's that other game? Battlefield Bad Company 2 is not going to be as large as those. But for the price, if you can get this game really cheap, like I said, I got this game for $7.50 on Steam, and it's worth it for that price. You know, if you can get the game for under $10, it's actually not a bad game to play. And like I said, this game is available on the 360 and on the PlayStation 3. But I decided to get on the PC. Now keep in mind, this game does run a lot smoother. It actually runs silky smooth on my computer. It's just because I'm doing this capturing thing, it doesn't run as smoothly as I like, but I'm still going to play around with it. That's pretty much it. That's been a look of Blacklight Tango down. Have a good one.